Martin shared his dream for justice to roll down like a mighty stream. A dream rooted in reality and the solemn prospect that he had come to the nation's capital to cash a 100-year-old check. Like so many folks in the hood with bills stacked high enough for a bungee cord jump, anxiously looking forward to the first of the month, with 300,000 black voices demanding their pay, August 28th, 1963 was check cashing day.
It's time for Talking with Alex Thomas. Talking business, politics, religion, community affairs. Where's the 40 acres and a mule? It's check cashing time.
Thank you. Welcome to Talking with Alex Thomas. Jessica Thomas is now going to tell us who brings you Talking with Alex Thomas.
Alex Thomas and Associates are uniquely qualified to offer some of the best insurance products on the market and are constantly searching for ways to improve the services we offer. From auto, homeowners, renters, business, life, hospital indemnity to Medicare supplements and Medicare Advantages plans, we work with our clients to identify and find plans best suited to their needs. Visit our website at alexthomasins.com. We want you to be fully informed and confident before making a final decision. Call Alex at 913-764-5050 or visit alexthomasins.com. Talking with Alex Thomas is sponsored by the American Jazz Museum, where the great art form known as jazz lives. Take your son or daughter to the American Jazz Museum, where you and your children will discover stunning exhibitions featuring historic costumes, music, and instruments of famous jazz greats. Find out about educational opportunities and what's on display in the Changey Gallery by visiting AmericanJazzMuseum.org or call 816-474-8463. Talking with Alex Thomas is brought to you in part by Grow Pito Technologies, Kansas City's own homegrown hydroponic grow medium for life. Grow Pito provides reusable horticultural hydroponic medium that saves water, nutrients, and allows the hydroponic farmer to expect larger yields and complete nutrient control. Grow Pito refined mediums and systems are designed to give the farmer small and large confidence and complete repeatability with a reduced ecological footprint. Visit growpito.com for information, and Grow Pito is available at Grow Your Own Hydroponics, 816-241-2122. Talking with Alex Thomas is brought to you by Love's Micro Braid Pick Debraiding Tool. Finally, a 21st century debraiding tool perfect for the safe and easy removal of any braided, weaved, twisted, or locked hair. Women, men, boys, girls, braiding and barbershop owners, beauty salon owners, cosmetology operators, children with beads in their hair, and church-going folks. The 21st century Love's Micro Braid Pick Debraiding Tool safely removes any braided, weaved, twisted, or locked hair with no loss of hair. What do you use to take out your braids? Love's Micro Braid Pick is the best way. Braided, weaved, twisted, or locked hair with no loss of hair. Get yours today by calling Deborah at 913-749-3557. The price is just $6 a piece. And ask your neighborhood store if you don't see them when they'll start carrying the debraiding tool. Love's Micro Braid Pick Debraiding Tool, saving hair on your head one braid at a time. Steve Penn is the author of the book Case for a Pardon, The Pete O'Neill Story. You can get the book by ordering online at caseforpardon.com. The book, whose foreword is written by Congressman Emanuel Cleaver, can also be purchased at the American Jazz Museum Swing Shop, located at 18th and Vine. The story of the Negro Leagues is a story of talented, strong-willed athletes who forged a glorious history in the midst of an inglorious time in American history. Their passion for baseball would not only change the game, but our country too. That story comes to life at the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum in historic 18th and Vine. Discover Buck. Discover Satch. Discover Cool. Discover greatness at America's home for Negro Leagues history. Make plans to visit today. For more information, call 816-221-1920 or visit nlbm.com. Talking with Alex Thomas is sponsored by the American Jazz Museum, where the great art form known as jazz lives. Visit the American Jazz Museum, located in the historic 18th and Vine Jazz District, 1616 East 18th Street, Kansas City, Missouri, where you will find world-class performances in both the historic Gem Theater and live performances in the Blue Room. For information, visit americanjazzmuseum.org or call 816-474-8463.
As always, we have in the studio with us my co-host, Steve Penn. And we have Mary Mama Moses Moore.
Mother Mary. Yeah.
Mother Mary.
Mother Moses,
and,
all of that.
George Dunsmore and Steve Hentzen. We are all cancer survivors. And today we're going to be talking about cancer survivors. First, let's hear from
Mother Moses.
Mother
Mary.
Moses. Lest we forget. Mother Moses, first of all, tell us a little something about yourself. Everybody may not know that what you're doing and what you have done, but I have known you for some time, and I know you're a great jazz and blues singer because you used to perform for me when I was in the nightclub business.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and this is really my way. This particular song I wrote many years ago, and everybody in Kansas City knows me as Mary Moore. And actually, Mary Moore is still very much alive, but Mother Moses has is Mary Moore's grandmother. And Mary finally decided to listen to her, to let Mother Moses and Mother Mary step forward and have a conversation in our community about our children and our family. So the transformation has happened in my life, and it is more important what I have to say than what I have to sing right now. And, to start the conversation about the restoration of the family. And that is my call. That is my mission. So I will be doing a video shoot this Sunday morning. And everyone can show up. I want elders and children and people in this community that reflects all of who we are, cultures, and just everybody to come in celebration and be a part of this history-making video filmed on the ground in the 18th and Vine Jazz District. We are doing a street scene, and the cameras and the camera crew are ready to film this, and I just want to include everyone in this celebration for this song of Lest We Forget, because we forgot.
Okay, we also have George Dunmore. We really don't have to tell you who George Dunmore is. He's been around for many, many years. You name it, George has done it, from reporting to being on the Civil Rights Commission. You name it, George has been around. He's a columnist. You read his article quite often, almost every week. But the main reason why George is with us today is he is a cancer survivor.
That's right, 25 years.
Okay. George, when were you first diagnosed? And
I was
we get closer
first
to the
diagnosed
mic,
in 1990. I felt some discomfort and went to my doctor, and he diagnosed, and I was living in Texas at the time, and he wanted me to wait until a young man was graduating from MD Anderson, and I had my surgery in early 1991. I might want to add that I'm the 10th child of 10, and there were 7 surviving boys, and we lost perhaps my most brilliant brother to cancer because, like most men, he wouldn't go to the doctor. Had he gone to the doctor, they could have saved him.
Okay, also we have with us Steve Hentzen. Steve is also a cancer survivor.
Yes, by the grace of God, at age 46, I was trying to get into Boy Scout camp as an adult leader, and my doctor, I think it was about the 3rd year, wouldn't just sign my health form. He's like, "You got to come on in," and he checked that box to do a PSA screening on me, and that's what it was. I had no symptoms, and that started my journey. I was a single dad, and I had to tell my son I had cancer, but it was cotton time, and in the process of it, got connected with some other survivors, and we started a group, a grassroots group here in Kansas City. It's the Prostate Network.org. And we, in just about a year's time, is all we've been doing this. We have connected about 3,000 survivors, mostly local here, of prostate cancer. We are on a mission to support other survivors, and we're also on a mission to take and help raise awareness about how important it is to get checked. We're off in the community at health fairs and wherever wonderful opportunities like this to carry out our mission.
Well, we are so happy to have you here. I too have a story to tell about a cancer survivor. I always was in favor of checkups, and every 90 days I went, and the doctor gave me additional tests. Didn't like what he felt, and he sent me to a urologist. Urologist did a biopsy, and the urologist sent me to an oncologist. And I had 45 treatments of radiation. And Tuesday, I went to the urologist again. He did a PSA, and it was 0.
Wow. Amen.
It was 0.
That's great.
Um,
Does that deserve a round of applause?
Yes, it does.
I'm up every morning best shape of my life. I'm everything to my 3 kids, a lover to my wife. Still run 5 miles when I get home, play pickup at the Y. So why's this doctor telling me should be scared for my life? And I didn't want to come here, I swear I'm feeling fine. So you say I got cancer, man, I say you lost your mind. It's the hardest thing I'll ever do, swallow my pride, face the truth, go through hell, feel the fear, and praise the Lord that I'm still here. And I've still got more miles here on this road. And now I'm here to help you all to understand that you can't fight this battle on your own. You ain't Superman. I struggled through the treatment, I fought hard through the pain. There were days where I would give up hope and give God all the blame. But then I thought of all I had to lose, I saw my family. But then it finally all hit home, this wasn't about me. It's the hardest thing I'll ever do, swallow my pride and face the truth and go through hell, feel the fear and praise the Lord that I'm still here. And I've still got more miles here on this road. And now I'm here to help you all to understand that you can't fight this battle on your own. You ain't Superman. To everyone who's had to lose, to every man that wears the blue, to every guy who's scared to know, tell you you are not alone. It's the hardest thing you'll ever do, swallow your pride, face the truth. You'll go through hell, you'll feel the fear, but if you press on, you'll still be here. 'Cause you still got more miles here on this road. And I hope that you can understand, brother, you can't fight this battle on your own. No one's Superman. No one's Superman. No one's Superman.
Steve Hentzen, who is the most prone to get prostate cancer?
African American men are twice as likely. The numbers are 1 in 6 in the general population will get prostate cancer. The numbers are just outstanding, and it's not known why, but the fact is it's double. It's also a very hereditary cancer, and so it runs in the family. But thus in lies the problem I want to bring up and have us all talk about, and that is talking about prostate cancer. What happens is guys don't talk about it. I'm a living example of it. My aunt passed away about a year after I had my prostate cancer surgery, and it was funeral and get together with some family you don't see often, and like how things going. I said, oh my God, this last year has been horrible. And I had to tell my son I had cancer and I had to go through all this. Oh, I'm not surprised. I had it. Your grandpa had it. Well, that doesn't work anymore. We've got to take and we've got to change that. Guys, I think are raised at a young age to just dust it off, put some dirt on it, suck it up. And little girls are kind of taught things different. And that might work for a while, but when it gets to the hard stuff in life, and this is one of them, you got to be able to take and talk about the family history with your medicine and what's going on. And I want to see that changed. I want to see guys out in the public talking about it. You see the ladies have done a great job, and they've been organized. They've been doing things, but us guys, we've been sitting on the sidelines. And at Prostate Network, we're trying to change that.
Well, do you find that us guys are reluctant to get that digital test?
Yeah, there are a reluctance, but what it is, it's selfish because this stuff, if it's caught early, the survival rates are nearly 100%. But
well,
if you don't
that
catch
that was my survival rate. Caught it just in time. Caught it just early. And as I say, I get one done every 90 days. And it has always been okay. But I caught it early, and thank God, here I am, free of it.
Yeah, but by the grace of God, they almost caught mine too late. Because I tell people it's like an apple. And a lot of times you bite into that apple and you find a rotted spot. And that's where I was. I didn't realize it until the amount of radiation I had to go through. The second doctor told me, "You're lucky to be here."
You were saying that our diets have a lot to do with it. Tell me what we're eating that we shouldn't.
Well, it's the same thing with most of the illnesses that blacks get. We weren't, our diets were heavy in fats and things that we shouldn't have, you know. You had to have hammocks on your greens, and that's a killer.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
I call it stacking the deck in your favor. So after you get cancer, you can take and reduce your chances of reoccurrence in half with diet and exercise. And I think we all know what it means. But it's true with all cancers. I think the numbers, I'm not a doctor, I do computers for a living, but I've had to learn about it because of being a survivor. It's like 80% of cancers are due to lifestyle choices. We're laying in tanning beds, we're smoking cigarettes, we're doing all sorts of stuff that we just shouldn't do. And you don't want to get in this club. And so the best way to do it is to not join the Survivor Club, and that is to live a healthy lifestyle. And if you do, stack the deck in your favor and do your best to avoid that reoccurrence.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break at this time, but when we come back, I'm sure somebody out there have a story they want to share or a question that they may want to ask this panel. Give us a call at 816-576-7400. Be right back.
Alex Thomas and Associates are uniquely qualified to offer some of the best insurance products on the market and are constantly searching for ways to improve the services we offer. From auto, homeowners, renters, business, life, hospital indemnity to Medicare supplements and Medicare Advantages plans, we work with our clients to identify and find plans best suited to their needs. Visit our website at alexthomasins.com. We want you to be fully informed and confident before making a final decision. Call Alex at 913-764-5050 or visit alexthomasins.com. Talking with Alex Thomas is sponsored by the American Jazz Museum, where the great art form known as jazz lives. Take your son or daughter to the American Jazz Museum, where you and your children will discover stunning exhibitions featuring historic costumes, music, and instruments of famous jazz greats. Find out about educational opportunities and what's on display in the Changing Gallery by visiting AmericanJazzMuseum.org or call 816-474-8463. Talking with Alex Thomas is brought to you in part by Grow Pito Technologies, Kansas City's own homegrown hydroponic grow medium for life. Grow Pito provides reusable horticultural hydroponic medium that saves water, nutrients, and allows the hydroponic farmer to expect larger yields and complete nutrient control. Grow Pito refined mediums and systems are designed to give the farmer small and large confidence and complete repeatability with a reduced ecological footprint. Visit growpito.com for information, and Grow Pito is available at Grow Your Own Hydroponics, 816-241-2122. Talking with Alex Thomas is brought to you by Love's Micro Braid Pick debrading tool. Finally, a 21st century debrading tool perfect for the safe and easy removal of any braided, weaved, twisted, or locked hair. Women, men, boys, girls, braiding and barbershop owners, beauty salon owners, cosmetology operators, children with beads in their hair, and church-going folks. The 21st century loves micro braid pick debrading tool safely removes any braided, weaved, twisted, or locked hair with no loss of hair. What do you use to take out your braids? Love's micro braid pick is the best way. Braided, weaved, twisted, or locked hair with no loss of hair. Get yours today by calling Deborah at 913-749-3557. The price is just $6 a piece. And ask your neighborhood store if you don't see them when they'll start carrying the debrading tool. Love's micro braid pick debrading tool, saving hair on your head one braid at a time. Steve Penn is the author of the book Case for a Pardon, the Pete O'Neill story. You can get the book by ordering online at caseforpardon.com. The book, whose foreword is written by Congressman Emanuel Cleaver, can also be purchased at the American Jazz Museum Swing Shop located at 18th and Vine. The story of the Negro Leagues is a story of talented, strong-willed athletes who forged a glorious history in the midst of an inglorious time in American history. Their passion for baseball would not only change the game, but our country too. That story comes to life at the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum in historic 18th and Vine. Discover Buck. Discover Satch. Discover Cool. Discover greatness at America's home for Negro Leagues history. Make plans to visit today. For more information, call 816-221-1920 or visit nlbm.com. Talking with Alex Thomas is sponsored by the American Jazz Museum, where the great art form known as jazz lives. Visit the American Jazz Museum, located in the historic 18th and Vine Jazz District, 1616 East 18th Street, Kansas City, Missouri, where you will find world-class performances in both the historic Gem Theater and live performances in the Blue Room. For information, visit americanjazzmuseum.org or call 816-474-8463.
You know, I can understand why I got prostate cancer. At one time, I weighed as much as another person. I was carrying around at least another person. And I had two businesses going. One was a 24/7 business. Although in the bail bonding business, I didn't have to make the bonds, but whenever something came up, the agent had to call me for approval. So I was on standby for 24 hours, 24/7. I owned a nightclub that was open 10 hours a day. And being in the nightclub business, you know, I could drink wholesale. And there was always somebody coming in, wanted to buy the boss a drink.
What was your poison of choice?
And I really didn't have a choice. Whatever. And when the wholesalers came in, they always had something they wanted me to test, so I could sell it. So, and then I sold the type of food that you normally find in a bar restaurant. So this is what I ate. And eating, drinking, and being grossly overweight. So there's no wonder that I had a problem. Okay, we have a caller on the line. Caller, would you state your name and your question or comment? Caller, are you still there?
Hey, this is Jimmy Charles. How are you?
Hey, Jimmy.
How you doing?
Great, man. Thanks for joining us.
You got it. I'm here and from Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, that song is amazing. So, can you tell us a little background on Superman? How you came up with that song?
Well, I was volunteering. I do a lot of volunteer work, especially for different cancer organizations. And Zero Cancer was one of them. And they have, of course, they specialize in prostate cancer. And they have races all across the country in 30 cities across the country. And I'm from the Eastern Shore of Maryland. And Baltimore is where they started the races. And I was volunteering to help them promote their big race in Baltimore, where they have over 5,000 people who joined. They raise, past 2 years, they've raised over $500,000 for cancer research and free treatment and awareness. I was asked to perform at the race and help them promote it, and I said, sure, I'll volunteer. And then they called me back a week later and said, is there any way you can write a song that will get men to get their prostates checked? And I was like, you want me to do what? It was an unusual request, to say the least. But I really saw a great opportunity. I found a guy named Phil Shulka who was a stage 3, Gleason 10. He wasn't given a whole lot of a chance to survive, and he did beat it. He's a survivor, and now he is a mentor at Chesapeake Urology. Brought him into Nashville, sat down right on Music Row in a writer's room where, hundreds of hit songs that you hear on the radio have been written, and we listened to his story for over an hour, myself and Goose Gossett, who plays guitar in my band. He's a great writer as well. Took his story and really just turned it into a song, and it's just one of those things where the stars really aligned, and we sent it back, and it's been touching lives and saving lives all last year. We made a music video, presented that to CMT. They premiered it, so it got national exposure. Then Zero Cancer asked me to be a national spokesperson for the organization, and last year I spent touring all these different walks and runs and singing the song to survivors who have lived, that's their story. And it's just been an amazing journey, just communicating with these people and being able to be there for them and all that they're going through. And the fact that I can use my music and a song that I wrote to do that has really been a dream come true.
Well, this has really been an inspiration to hear your story. So thank you very much for calling in and sharing that with us. Steve Hentzen, you have what are you doing now in sharing your story? And
we are an organization that we meet once a month and help fellow survivors. So the guys that are already on the other side.
Okay, tell us about the meeting, where it is, and so forth.
We meet third Wednesday nights down at Gilda's Club in Kansas City. It's a great little place, Gilda's Club, and they let us do our thing down there, and that's where we meet. And we've got guys that have already made it through, and so they help the other guys that are just getting diagnosed, and they got all this kind of scary stuff in their head, because it's a scary situation. But if you can know that you're not alone and talk to guys that have already gone through it.
Okay, and I want to say that when I first met Steve, it was just last Saturday. He was sharing his story at the Johnson County NAACP, and I was just so fascinated. So if any other organizations, such as the NAACP, churches, or what have you, are you available?
We are. That's what our survivors do. We get out in the community. And on a big scale, on Father's Day this year, we're going to have an event out at the K. It's Prostate Cancer Awareness Day in Kansas City, as Mayor Sly James declares it. And we're going to have a survivorship celebration before the game at the corner of A1 parking lot with the Great Big Moose Man. And we're going to sit together in Section 209. We're not doing it to raise money. We're doing it to raise awareness and to get the word out. At prostatenetwork.org, you can get tickets and come out and join us. We are truly stronger together. That's been our mantra since the beginning, because when we got started, we had 10 guys get together, and we could support each other. It wasn't like we were just like 10 times strong. It was like 10 squared. Well, now we got about 3,000 of us, and we want to have everybody come out there and really blow the doors off awareness on Father's Day.
Okay, we have another call on the air. Caller, would you share your name and question or comments?
Yes, Steve and Alex. This is Phil Shulka, Steve. And I've helped to go ahead and write the song, and it was basically based upon my experience. And I just want to go ahead and verify the fact that the main thing that we can do as men is to talk about this. And particularly what I do is I go into the community and I let men know that you've got to get your PSA tested. One thing that they're trying to do is to say the PSA is not a valid test. It's the only thing we have to keep us aware of whether or not we've got this disease. And if it's, as you know, Steve, if it's caught in time, it's very treatable. If it's not, it can go ahead and be devastating. And it's just a simple blood test. We've got to make sure that men do have this done, and again, that men talk about this.
Very well said, Phil. Yeah, maybe in the past there could have been some guys that had a PSA that might have led to a biopsy, but there's tests today. The science has advanced. I think what happened was guys, we weren't organized. When this task force, there's a bunch of doctors that came out and said don't screen for breast cancer, and the ladies were organized. The ladies shredded those guys. When they did it to us guys, we weren't very organized. It was about 5 years ago, and so basically a great disservice was done to mankind there, and we need guys to know. And this whole thing it's a bigger question than just prostate cancer. It's got to be about being healthy, smart, and you got to go to the doctor every year, and you need to make sure that your doctor checks you for this kind of stuff. But you got to get into the doctor and get checked. You can't just go years without going in.
Yeah, I mean, my story is one of being a bad example, which can become a good example. My wife's a nurse. I used to be a Navy corpsman. We both should know better, but we knew nothing about prostate cancer. And I was at age 55. I was diagnosed with a slightly elevated PSA. They did a biopsy. They didn't find any cancer, so I went for 4 years without getting any treatment at all. My wife finally said, "Phil, you got to get a PSA test." When I did, my PSA was 30. When they did the biopsy, I was a Gleason 10. My cancer had spread. Steve, I've had surgery, radiation, hormone therapy, and all the damage any man can have. And this has been 9 years ago. Last year, my cancer has come back. Had I known what was happening, I would have caught it in time, and I wouldn't be in this situation. It is so important. The PSA test is only the same thing as the check engine light coming on in your car. Nobody does any treatment based upon the PSA test. It's just saying something's going on, guys. You got to look under the hood, and then you have to have the biopsy.
Now, female cancer survivors wear pink to show their solidarity. Is there anything that men do that's tantamount to the same thing?
Well, go ahead, Phil.
Okay.
We wear blue, and we're going to try to get it more visible, right? So if you look around, the level of awareness is like 1 to 1,000 difference. But we're gonna do that here in Kansas City, across Kansas and Missouri with the Prostate Network. We're just getting started, but you're going to start to see some blue shirts out there. If you look on our website, prostatenetwork.org, and look under the blog, we were at 39 events last year here in Kansas City.
Well, you can see I have my blue on today.
That's great. Like I was saying earlier, I'm not a member of this particular club. All these.
Bless you.
Exactly. I feel very blessed to not be a member of this particular club, but Mary has been a member of this club. Mary, you were saying before our break.
Well, hold it, Mary. Would you comment later? We have a call on there, and we like to give priority to our caller. Caller, would you state your name, question, or comment?
My name is Vanjie Rich. I'm the executive director of the Block Cancer Foundation Block Cancer Hotline. And my question is not a question. It is an encouragement of everything that Steve Group is doing to help men become aware of what's available to them for prostate cancer awareness, treatment, because I came on 19 years ago. Nobody was talking about men and prostate cancer. They were talking about breast cancer. So groups like Steve's really are a godsend to men. And I have encouraged him all along because I know how essential it is to have somebody who starts this up, starts the conversation, and just pursues it with all their energy, and that is Steve. So congratulations to Steve for everything he's doing.
Thank you, Vanjie. That is so sweet. Vanjie, what you guys do on down there at Block is phenomenal. Tell them about National Cancer Survivor Day. That's one of my favorite days of the year, and that's coming right up, isn't it?
It certainly is. It's 2 weeks away. One of the things that we want people to understand is that people do survive cancer. People do survive even advanced cancer, and that you are a survivor from the day on that you are diagnosed. So in that effort, we have started National Cancer Survivor Day 31 years ago. It started here in Kansas City by Richard Block, the co-founder of H&R Block, after he'd been told he had 90 days to live because he had advanced lung cancer. So a second opinion, a third opinion, a fourth opinion finally got him to the right doctors. And 26 years later, and even a colon cancer diagnosis in between that time, he finally passed away in 2004 from a heart attack. So he was given 26 years because he never gave up. And he always had such a wonderful attitude. So we started Cancer Survivor Day rallies here in Kansas City, and now they are in over 700 communities worldwide. So I invite Kansas City to come, see all the cancer service providers that we have there, and we are going to have the 5-star band orchestra. They're big band sound, jazz, and swing. They're a fabulous group of 25 kids. And then we're going to have refreshments, photo portraits, prize drawings. Everything is free. There's going to be a Hallmark appreciation giveaway table, and you're going to see Steve and his gang there, and you're going to really get excited by the momentum and the strength of the cancer support community in Kansas City. And that's going to take place Sunday, June the 5th, from 12 to 3 o'clock at the Richard and Annette Block Cancer Survivor Park on 47th and Roanoke. It's just west of the Country Club Plaza on 47th, otherwise known as Emmanuel Cleaver Boulevard, and Roanoke. So please do come. Everything is free. It's just fun, and I thank you so much. But more than anything, I want to thank Steve because he's taken it the right way, and he's taken it directly to the guys. And if any of you who are diagnosed with prostate cancer ever want to speak to a survivor of prostate cancer, we have men that you can speak with that will actually answer some very intimate questions and concerns that most men have about prostate cancer. It is a very delicate issue, and our volunteers are trained to give it to you straight, but offer encouragement because that's what we're there for. Anyone who needs any information about the rally or to speak to a survivor, our telephone number is 816-854-5050. And I just invite everyone to come and find out what it's all about. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for that information. It's very important that we have the information and, we know where to get the information, and we're going to talk about that in a minute also. But one thing I want to mention to you, as all of you know, that I am in the insurance business, have been for 53 years. And one of the policies that I sell is first diagnose cancer, which means that if you have never been diagnosed for cancer, you can get this policy. It is first diagnose cancer. Now, you may have insurance. Luckily, I did have insurance. But it cost me, my insurance company, $5,000 a week. But you have other expenses. I could not work for almost 3 months. And when that income is cut off, and there's a level that you can get that immediately it pays you a lump sum, not over a period of time unless you choose it that way, but you could get a lump sum payment at first diagnosed to take care of your bills because you're not going to be able to work, you're not going to be able to carry on your daily activities, so that income is going to stop, but your light bill is not going to stop. So we have another call on the air. Caller, would you state your name and question or comment?
Well, praise the Lord this afternoon. This is Brother Reuben. My question is this. You know, when I was listening to you, Mr. Thomas, and you was talking about your lifestyle, I was thinking more that you was probably going to say that I attracted diabetes from the lifestyle that you live. I didn't realize that cancer, everybody got a lifestyle. But how is it possible that the lifestyle always leads to this certain cancer, just like with women? It's an issue with breast cancer. With men, it's colon cancer. I mean, or prostate. You know, what's the connection? Is it just cancer? And then it doesn't really matter of the lifestyle? I mean, because back in the days, like me being a diabetic, back in the days, you just heard of it. You never really knew anything about it. Now it seems as though every other person is a diabetic. So I'm just wondering, but cancer's been around longer than diabetes has been identified.
Okay, let me, Brother Reuben, let me comment on that. I was diagnosed years ago when, as I've told you earlier, that I was at least 100 pounds overweight. And I was diagnosed with sudden onset of diabetes. My doctor basically told me then, and a good friend of mine, he says, Alex, if you want to go on living, and he put it just that way to me. And this was before I was diagnosed with the prostate cancer. He says, if you want to go on living, you will lose at least 65 pounds. Well, I lost 100 pounds, and I've got a net loss from that time of 88 pounds. I gained a little of it back. And a couple of years after that, I was taken off of all medication for diabetes. I do not have to take anything now for diabetes or for high blood pressure. So I was taking off all it can be done.
Mm-hmm. What about the cancer? I mean, how are you doing with that?
It's gone, zero. My PSA as of Tuesday was 0.
But God is able.
God is able, and of course, God, I'm so blessed.
Yeah, well, I guess if we follow the discipline of ourselves or whatever ails us, then, you know, we do all that we can do, then maybe so God will step in and help us. But I guess we must get the understanding of how to treat the cancer to cause it to leave us. So I guess discipline is as I say, discipline is not the enemy. So therefore, we should be more diligent and get as much education and knowledge as we possibly can of how to eliminate this cancer from us, as well as diabetes. But you just told your story, so if God did it for you, then he can do it for others.
Right.
Okay, well, I'll bid you all a blessed weekend then.
Thank you. There's an organization, the Missouri Cancer Consortium. It's cancerandmo.org. And we've got a campaign there. We're working with them to try to make people smarter. It's called Be Cancer Smart. And that's what we're after. And so there are a lot of things that can be done. We can, you know, like I said, I'm not a doctor, so I don't want anybody to take this stuff wrong. But let's be realistic here. We've got, I think, some of the lowest tobacco tax rates in the country, and that leads to people smoking. If you raise the taxes, people quit smoking. We've got HPV vaccines that stop people from getting cancer now, but we've got legislation out there that prevents people from talking about sex and HPV vaccination to our kids in our schools. We've got tanning beds that people, the teenagers and stuff are going into. That stuff is all going on. And I encourage people to get active in the community and to lobby and to help organizations that are trying to make a difference and trying to change things, because there are clearly some choices that we as a community can make to make a difference in this battle.
Yeah, well, I'm the only lady sitting in the room. And, speaking of prostate cancer, yes, I lost my father to prostate cancer. And basically, I have two brothers that are dealing with it as I speak. But speaking of cancer, and one of the most preventable, according to my oncologist, because I'm a survivor of colon cancer by 4 years. When I disappeared off the scene, people in Kansas City didn't know I was dealing with that. And it is preventable. I'm sure just as prostate cancer, with men being sensitive about the invasion of certain parts, there's certain things that that has to be done as far as examination to discover whether or not you have it. And that same thing is with colon cancer. A simple colonoscopy, it's not comfortable either. And I had never ever had one, and I had heard the PSAs on television and that kind of thing, and I was just very lucky that they caught it in time, that it hadn't spread all into the lymph nodes. But colon cancer, all of the cancers that, and education about diet and exercise and all of this is just really great. I'm just really happy to be sitting in this room and hearing all of this about all of the information that we can share with the public. And there's an 85-year-old gentleman sitting at the end of this table who has survived cancer, a 25-year survivor of cancer.
Yeah, I want to add one more thing, because in talking to the brothers, they say, I don't want people fooling around there because it might upset my sex life. The only thing I can tell you is, unfortunately, 4 years after my cancer, my wife succumbed to a rare disease known as sarcoidosis. And that put me back on the market. And I can just tell you that none of the ladies turned me down because I told them that I had prostate cancer. So, brothers, don't be thinking that if you go through the prostate process that you're going to lose whatever you got.
I'd like to talk about that sex topic. So here's the thing. If you value that thing working, and we know what that thing is, then you got to get screened. Because if you catch the prostate cancer early, the treatments are going to be less invasive on having that thing working. So, that's just the facts, guys. So if you really care about it, you better be running on into the doctor. And here's another thing, and I just got to throw it out there because it's true. That's what I've read on, is that if you have a lot of sex, that helps prevent prostate cancer. So there you go, ladies.
Is that true?
Oh, that's another excuse.
Come on.
I mean, another reason.
You gotta be kidding.
No, that's not true, because you had a whole lot of monks that had prostate cancer. And I think something else we should mention, the prostate is a very fickle organ. A lot of times it's not prostate cancer, it's prostatitis, which it can be treated. So don't think just because you're having some symptoms that it is prostate cancer. It could be just something's affecting the prostate gland itself.
Yeah, there's often no symptom whatsoever. There can be, but for the most part, there's no symptom to prostate cancer. The only way is to really find out is go to the doctor and get checked.
Well, I know, like many of our listeners out there, this has been very educational and really has been a good subject to talk about, because we rarely talk about this openly, and we don't do it enough. And so this is a great start. And I know there's listeners out there who benefited from this conversation.
Yeah, thank you, Alex, for putting this together. It's been a wonderful show you got here.
Well, it has been very wonderful, educational, And I would encourage everybody to talk to your families. You need to know if your father, your mother, but most important, get those checks. Unfortunately, I lost my mother and all of her siblings. 5 sisters, my mother and her 5 sisters, all to cancer. So it was prone to be in my family.
Well, I'm at my family reunion. We have a big family reunion in Houston with many of my family members that are going to be there, and that is on my bucket list to have this kind of conversation while we all gather together at family reunions. What better time to have that discussion,
That's perfect. And if I could ask our listeners, you say a prayer for our survivors in our group, please.
Okay, well, unfortunately, we are out of time. I want to, as always, thank Steve Penn for being in, and
Thank you,
Mother
discussion.
Moses for being here.
Thank you.
Steve Hentzen for being here, and George Dunmore. We will be back next week, and Senator David Haley has told us that he will stop by. So we'll be talking politics, and as you know, there's a new version of Roots coming out. We're going to be talking about that next week. So see you next Friday.
I'm tired of welfare handouts and being played for a fool. I'm also tired of waiting for my 40 acres and a mule. Sick of being miseducated in this country's so-called schools. Ain't none of them teachers talking about my 40 acres and a mule.